Gotta say.
Courtney!
Say that again?
It's
Courtney!
Yes, it is. Guys, I got it. Ready? Yeah.
So I remember being like 11 years old when this movie came out, and I had been looking forward to seeing it, and because I thought it was pretty cool that they had cast Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch and all of that jazz, and it was like a new updated Fantastic Four. So I go there, you know, sit in the theater. I got my popcorn and stuff, and so I'm watching, and so after a while I'm like, okay, like, this is a lot of setup. When are we going to see them, you know, be the Fantastic Four and use their powers? And so it just seemed like the movie kept dragging on, and it was going really slow, and there was no action. I wasn't seeing any powers, I wasn't seeing any action, I wasn't seeing any fighting. And so by the time it got to the end and the whole say it again scene happened and the credits rolled, I was like, so that's it? Like, I literally remember thinking that, like, that's it? It's over? And yeah, it was just pretty disappointing. Rewatching it now as an adult, it's not as bad as I remember it being, but you know, if you're gonna make a Fantastic Four movie, a superhero movie whose audience is predominantly kids and teenagers that are coming to see action and like cool powers and the Fantastic Four be the Fantastic Four, maybe you shouldn't make it so heavily science fiction focused and wait till the last 20 minutes to show the actual action. So the movie immediately starts out with Reed Richards showing off how smart he is at the ripe age of, I don't know, toddler, however old he is here. And so his school is having a career day, and so he goes up and says, I want to be the first person to basically invent teleportation. And he even pops his collar and says, I've already built a machine that can do it. I'm just still working on it. And the teacher is like, well, the assignment was to pick a real career.
Shut up, you stupid bitch!
But this piques the attention of his classmate, Ben Grimm. So later that night, Ben's trying to come home from school to his junkyard or whatever it is, like, that I guess his family owns. So he's like, I got homework, and his brother, who's like 20 something years old, is picking on him and like walks up on him like he's a grown man and is like pushing up on him like, you think you could talk to me like that? You think you could talk to me like that? I'm 5'10" and I'm 140 pounds. You cannot talk to me like that. I am grown. And while he's trying to prove how macho he is to this literal toddler, he says the infamous "it's clobbering time" line, and that's just the origin of it. So Ben goes outside and he catches Reed basically trying to rob them, looking for some kind of converter thing for his teleportation device, and Ben is down. He's like, all right, let's make this thing. So they go back to Reed's place and we see his whole setup. He's got the whole shebang going, and so he gets the last piece that he needs and they're powering the thing up. And as it's doing this thing, Reed is praying to himself that it won't blow up, and Ben is like, hello? What do you mean blow up? But it does not blow up. It actually works. The little toy car that they were trying to teleport, it gets teleported to some unknown location at the expense of the power of the entire city. His parents just must be so used to it at this point because they're just like, Reed, God damn it, Reed, what did you do? So we jump forward in time 10 years and Ben and Reed are like teenagers / young adults now at a science fair, and they have their teleportation project thing there that they're displaying. And so the freaking science higher up people come and are like, okay, so what do you have for us? And they're able to successfully teleport the plane to an unknown location, but they also cause like hundreds of dollars worth of property damage in the meantime, so that momentarily distracts the scientists. But then the plane actually does teleport back, and so he's like, yes, I am the inventor of sex. I got this from the Sahara Desert. It came back from the desert. And so they're like, you were disqualified. This is not science. This is magic. Yeah, you suck. Goodbye. And the child that he also jacked the plane from just straight up insults him. It was hilarious.
Hey, kid, I'm really sorry about your plane.
You're a dick.
So Ben just finds all of this absolutely hysterical. He kind of looks like Tom Holland with ears. So it's looking hopeless. He's a failed scientist and everything. Nobody believes in him. Nobody takes him seriously. But then, what's her name again? Susan Storm and her, I think this is her adoptive father because Johnny is black in this universe. So yeah, her adoptive father, we can assume. They come and they're like, we've been trying to travel dimensions for years and you just did it in your garage. I can't believe you invented sex in your garage. So of course this now earns him an opportunity to get into this really prestigious science school of nerds and whatnot. Sue Storm is his love interest. I could care less, honestly. So Victor Von Doom, that's a hell of a name, isn't it? Is currently a loser who's given up on his dreams or whatever and lives in a crappy, cluttered apartment. And the black dude, I guess Sue's adoptive father or whoever he is to her, comes and is like, yeah, can you come back on this project? I kind of don't care. And then he leaves. So Sue is kind of a know-it-all. I don't know why, but she just kind of gives me know-it-all vibes. And Victor is also a prick. Like, just for absolutely no reason. Doesn't want to shake Reed's hand, undermines his life's work, and yeah, he just kind of sucks. So they were able to send a drone into this alternate universe that they've been trying to get access to, and the drone itself didn't come back, but pictures from the drone did come back, and so now they have a visual on this alternate universe. Basically, their whole plan is to get energy or something from this universe so that they can power and save planet Earth and whatnot. That's the whole point of their project. But Victor is like, well, this world doesn't deserve to be saved. You know, it ran itself into the ground, so maybe maybe it's getting what it's got coming. And his optimism is what makes Susan coin the name Dr. Doom for him. So we're introduced to Johnny Storm. He likes to race what looks like illegally out on a very public road, even though it's nighttime. I'll give him that. And his speed goes so far in the red that he crashes and swerves and literally almost dies. His father has to pick him up from the ER. He's not happy with this. I guess his dad wants him to be a scientist or something. Like, how dare you use your IQ and your smarts to build cars and race them? Why can't you be more like my adopted daughter and do multi-dimensional freaking nerd stuff like that? And so he says, okay, so if you want this car back that sure you built yourself, but you built it with my money, you gotta come work for me. Johnny shows up ready to work, and Victor's really pissing me off because he's just a douchebag for no reason. He's like, well, what are you gonna do with the broken arm? We don't need any more help. This one doesn't take orders well. Like, dude, shut up before you get slapped. We see a lot more science stuff, working, science, blah blah, everybody's nerds. And then we see Susan and Reed chopping it up. They're laughing together, smiling together, just vibing. And Victor comes along and he sees him and he starts getting jealous and in his feelings, and he calls Reed over and he's like, you're being unprofessional. You're supposed to be working. It doesn't look like you're working. He's so annoying. Oh my god, I forgot how annoying he was. Like, she's not gonna let you hit it, dude, especially not with that attitude. If you keep acting like a woman like that, she's not gonna let you hit. So now that they have their big grand teleportation device thing built, their first unlucky subject is a chimpanzee that they successfully transport to this other dimension. But it's okay because they brought the chimpanzee back and the chimpanzee was okay. It survived, and now it gets to go tell its entire monkey family that it traveled the multiverse. So now this determines that it is indeed safe for them to go travel to this unknown dimension. So true to what I said in the beginning, we're already 35, almost 40 minutes into the movie, and so far the Fantastic Four do not have their powers at all, and there has been absolutely no action so far. It's just been science this, science that, machine this, blah blah blah, Reed Richards is a nerd, blah blah. Do you see why I was bored to death as an 11-year-old? So Reed Richards gets the grand idea that, hey, we should go to the dimension first. We can get our footprints there and we can be the first to see this alternate dimension. Reed calls up his day one Ben and it's like, hey, yo, I'm not doing this without you. We did this together, we end this together. So everybody's in their spacesuits, they're suiting up, buckling up, they're getting ready to go to this dimension. It's too bad we're not seeing them suit up to be the Fantastic Four. And the movie's already halfway over. They all get in the teleportation device and they teleport to this alternate dimension, and now they're there in the flesh, seeing it in person, and they're like, wow, this is so sick. CGI, grayscale. This is awesome. So mind you, they were supposed to just drop into this dimension for a few minutes, stick their little flag into the ground, and then just go right on back. But they get the amazing, bright, just brilliant idea to go climb down this ledge and get a close-up look at this pool of green energy that kind of just looks like liquid kryptonite. So Johnny is the only one besides Ben who has halfway enough sense to be like, y'all can do that. I'm gonna stay up here where I'm not gonna be near the green unknown pool of energy that could be radioactive or deadly or something. And then Ben is also like, Reed, we probably need to go ahead and go back. We've been here long enough. We came, we saw, let's go. So Victor is enamored by the green energy pool because he's the bad guy, of course, and he just sticks his entire hand in it like an a-hole, and that makes it blow up and do some weird stuff. So they have to rush all the way back where Johnny's like, hurry up, climb up here, come on. As Victor's climbing up the ledge, he slips and some of the green radioactive stuff, whatever it is, splashes onto him and he falls to his doom. Sorry. So they all have to hurry up and get back into the contraption. Reed is trying to press something to get them all back. It's not working, of course, because the movie needs to happen and they need to get their powers almost an hour into the movie. But they have Sue on the other side that's trying to get them back, but it's also not working on her end, so they're kind of screwed. Ben's door flies open and he starts getting stoned to death. Johnny gets set on fire, and then on the other side, back at the laboratory, Susan gets blown up. So for this next part, the good news is that they do end up back at the laboratory, but also the bad part is Reed wakes up. Johnny is on fire. He looks dead. Ben is stuck under a bunch of rocks, but he's not stuck under those rocks. He is now those rocks. And as Reed is trying to crawl over to him, he looks back and his legs have now just stretched a country mile. And he, of course, passes out, which is a very valid reaction. I would have passed away. So I don't know how much time has passed at this point, but Reed wakes up in some unknown Area 57 black site where they got my man just stretched out to capacity. And he's heavily sedated and he's like, where are my friends? Where's Ben? They're not answering him. They're just asking him if he can move his limbs and whatnot, and then they knock him back out. So the black dude, I don't know his name, Dr. Storm, he's like, are my kids alive? Where are they? So they finally let him see Sue. She's like phasing in and out of invisibility. She's knocked out. Johnny is on fire, looking like a roasted hot pocket or something, and he nearly blows everybody up. That must feel so crazy though, to just like casually be on fire, because it's like, are you hot? You know what I mean? Like how I'm burning up in this car right now and I'm sweating bullets. Like, are you hot? Like, is it unbearably hot, or does it just kind of feel regular? You cut back to Reed, who's waking up to the sound of Ben calling for help. He's scared, he's confused, rightfully so, because we're about to see why. So Reed is able to stretch himself out of the restraints, and he climbs through the freaking vents and stuff, and we finally see Ben. Honestly, if you think about it, Ben did the dirtiest out of everybody, because like everybody else gets like these cool powers, but they also get to still visibly stay themselves. But my man got turned into a bucket of rocks. I would be pissed. Like, what do you mean I can't see myself anymore? Sure, you get like crazy strong and whatnot, but I need to see myself. I don't want to look like that for life. Alarms start going off, guards start running around, and so they know that Reed has escaped. So Reed is like, look, I'm gonna come back for you. Ben is like, so you just gonna leave me here? Don't leave me here, help me. Reed dips. He's out. The dude from the Incredible Hulk goes to talk to Ben, and he's like, Reed is gone. He's not coming back. So this leads Ben to believe that Reed abandoned him after he said that he would fix this, after dragging him to that planet in the first place. So you can understand why Ben is going to be pissed a little bit later. The dude is telling Ben that we can help find a cure for you, but in return for us helping you, you need to help us. And so then we jump 1 year in time, and Ben has basically become their secret government weapon. Also, mind you, we're almost an hour into this movie, like we're 56 minutes in, and yeah, we still haven't really seen much action. So we see that the Fantastic Three has learned to control their powers. Johnny can now fireball on command. Susan can go in and out of invisibility on command. They all got their suits, which also, let's talk about these suits. They're not the iconic blue Fantastic Four suits. They made them, you know how they was doing in the 2010s, like how they made everything black and leather, and they were trying to be all gritty and realistic. They don't look bad. They don't look bad. They just don't look like the Fantastic Four, that's all. And so they go into a whole bunch more freaking military science jargon about Planet Zero and blah blah blah, yada yada yada. You're all nerds, I don't care. So Susan's trying to track down Reed because they've been trying to track him down for a while, and Reed is off somewhere, probably in like Costa Rica or something, getting scrap metals, and he's like living off the grid. And I'm just kind of bored, and it's kind of hot in this car, and like they still haven't used their powers, and we're over an hour into this movie. So yeah, he's got his scrap metal. He's trying to do something, I don't know. So I guess through whatever technological nerdy stuff Reed is doing, Sue is able to ping his location, and so a bunch of freaking military dudes show up to where he's at, and they chase him around. And so Ben shows up and is, you know, basically like, you abandoned me, you left me, what the frick is wrong with you? And Reed goes off into a whole self-deprecating monologue about how I'm no good for you. This is all of my fault. I had to leave because I'm no good for you. And Ben is like, that we can agree on. And then he headbutts him, but it doesn't look like he headbutted him very hard. Like it looked like the softest little headbutt, like that we can agree on. And then he just knocks him out. I'm like, okay. So of course Reed gets captured and brought in, and Sue comes and talks to him. And she's like, what was this conversation about? She's like, you wanted your work to make a difference? Well, this is it. And he's like, do you ever wonder what would have happened if you never came to the science fair that day? Well, we can't change the past. I kind of don't care. Like, I just can't stress enough how much I just don't care. 11-year-old me definitely did not care. I was bored at this point. I was confused. I was wondering when they were gonna fight and like use their powers and where Dr. Doom was. I was so puzzled. So Reed gets in there, he does his thing. They send some scientists to go to the alternate dimension, and that's when they discover Victor is still there and he's still alive. So an hour and 14 minutes into the movie, and we're just now seeing Dr. Doom, barely. And he's limping, like he has a gimp leg. So they bring Victor back to the lab, and they're like, we don't know how you're alive. And he looks like, I don't even know how to begin to explain what he looks like, but he looks like that. Okay, so they got Victor laid out on the table, and they're trying to figure out how he survived on this planet for so long. And so Victor goes off into an evil monologue about how he accumulated this immense power from this planet, and he basically has claimed this planet as his turf now. And he explodes the dude's head like Victoria Newman from The Boys. And he starts doing that to other scientists too, just popping heads, which is actually really cool. It's just too bad the movie's almost over. A bunch of military dudes start shooting at him because of course they do. And the bullets don't work, of course. He just murks them all. Oh, sidebar, they didn't put clothes on the thing. Like, not even shorts, not even a jock strap. Like, he's just in the nude, just rock cheeks, just flapping in the wind. Victor goes back to the teleportation machine thingy, and he intends to go back to his planet, and Franklin, that's his name, Franklin stops him, and he gives this whole Martin Luther King inspirational speech that doesn't move Victor at all, about how we're stronger together and your home is here. Honestly, if I was Franklin, I would have just got up out of his way. Especially because Victor gave him the chance to get up out of his way. Like, especially after this dude just exploded a bunch of scientists' heads effortlessly, and bullets don't do anything to him, I would have just got out of his way. Just let him go back to the planet. Susan and Johnny, they pull up. Victor just blasts him out of the way or something, and then he kills Franklin in front of them. So now their father is dead, they're orphans. And Johnny is like standing over his dead body like, no, Dad, I'm sorry. Because before that, the last conversation that he had with his father was telling him that he's grown up and he's a man now. And basically it was his fault that he's the Human Torch now because his father made him work for him instead of letting him race illegally. Reed gets blasted away and Victor goes back to his home planet. His planet that he's now claimed as home. In Victor teleporting back to the other dimension, he created like a black hole vortex thing that made like a beacon of light in both planets, but it's sucking everything. It's basically sucking the Earth into this dimension, but obviously that's destroying Earth in the process, so that's bad and they have to stop that. The gang gets sucked into the black hole. Sue uses her force field magic to get them to the other dimension safely. So now at this point we are an hour and 23 minutes into the movie and we're finally seeing them be the Fantastic Four. Yay. Okay, so the gang's all here. Victor's over there. They need to stop Victor because he's the source of the soul-sucking, world-sucking energy vortex force. Johnny charges first because he's pissed because now he's out of a father. Johnny charges. He gets covered in like freaking dust or something that puts out his flames. Ben gets covered in more rocks because that's exactly what he needs. Absolute destruction on Earth. Everything is getting sucked up and beamed up. It freaking sucks. A bunch of people probably died. That's a lot of property damage. That's gonna leave a huge dent in Mother Gaia. Looking at Dr. Doom, I don't know, he looks a little bit crappy. Just a little bit. I get what they were going for. They were trying to make it look more organic. I get it. I see the vision. I don't know, it's just not really doing it for me. So anyways, so he clocks Susan's invisible thing and Reed is like, Victor, don't do this. You don't have to do this. And Victor is like, there is no Victor. Only Doom. Okay, edgelord. So he stretches Reed out.
What do you mean by
I
that?
know that sounds awful, but like he stretches his limbs out and leaves him floppy. That sounds even worse. Reed is rendered incapacitated, and so Susan tries to do her thing, but she fails miserably, and he starts using her own force field to crush her. And I guess he really did have a thing for her because he's like, I saw a better future for us, Susan. We could have destroyed the world together, you and me. But you had to go be one of the good guys. I don't know. I don't freaking care. So I'm noticing like a common theme in the Fantastic Four movie. Susan is kind of like the Kung Lao of the Fantastic Four. Because for some reason, she's always the one that almost dies or has like a stroke with death. Reed looks around at all of his friends in trouble. And he starts getting flashbacks to, you know, when the whole thing happened and they got their powers and they were all like jacked up and jacked off. And that encourages him to, you know, get control back of himself, the power of friendship. So Reed, he tackles Doom, sends him flying down a ravine. Everybody's able to recover from their incapacitated states, and so they're able to regroup and have a short little monologue with each other about how we can't beat him, he's too strong. Yeah, but he's not stronger than all of us. This place gave him his powers, but it gave us ours too. So with the power of friendship and with the power of anime and God, we can beat him as a team. Fantastic Four. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of speed run through this final fight because I'm getting really tired and I'm really hot. I'm ready to get up out of this makeup, and yeah. So they're fighting, they're scrapping, they're finally using their powers, but like the movie is almost literally over. So at some point Doom is choking out Reed and monologuing or something, and so Reed is like, now, and the thing comes out of nowhere and it's like it's clobbering time and sends him flying into the freaking world-sucking beam thing. And then Johnny comes and destroys all of the pillars, and that makes it collapse and eviscerates Doom in the process. So Doom is dead now, the day is saved, the gang is able to get back to Earth. There's a giant hole in the world now, so that's great. Like I said earlier, the world is dented now. We cut to a scene of them talking to the military. What were they talking about? Yeah, they basically made a deal with the military about how in return for them working and doing inventions and stuff, they'll give them like their own headquarters or something. So this is where we get the infamous scene. So they're trying to come up with a name for their headquarters, and so then that leads into a conversation of them trying to come up with a name for themselves, the group. And so they throw some names out there like the Human Torch and the Torchettes, Alvin and the Chipmunks, freaking the big brain in her neurons and whatever. And so, like, they're talking about the garage and how we came from such humble beginnings. Look how far we've come. We started from the bottom, now we're here, all of that. And so Ben just casually says, it's fantastic. And Mr. Floptastic is like, say that again. And then that's it. The movie is over. It's done. So let me wrap this up so I can take this makeup off. So all in all, like I said, this movie, rewatching it as an adult, it's not as bad as I remember it being. Like, it is interesting, but it just doesn't feel like a Fantastic Four movie. Like, it feels like a very mature adult movie, which wasn't really the way to go about it because it's an IP. It's a superhero IP that's whose audience is very much pre-teen to like children dominated, so I see why it flopped.
Wait, you will always be my nigga. Wait, you will always be my nigga. Wait, you will always be my nigga.